Okay, yay! All right, so this is our free community healing for March, this spring renewal energy. So out with the old, in with the new. When I was connecting in about this healing, how do I best serve this community? What do they need? What was coming through was an image of this community. And there were three anchors, okay, that whenever this group was trying to rise, step into their wants, their desires, their dreams, there's this heavy weight just dragging. And so you're moving at this tiny little inching forward instead of any type of massive quantum leap or massive manifestation. And it's like, why does it have to be so small and slow? And it's because of these anchors just weighing everyone down. So that's what we're going to do in this healing. We're going to look at the three biggest reasons that you're feeling restricted or it's slowing down what you want, dream, and desire. And that's what healing does. It just speeds up our reality. It allows us to create what we want more quickly. That's why I love it. I'm in the feel good business. That's what we're going to do. Play with some miracles and magic. Excited to share my gifts with you. And with that being said, we're going to get started. So I'm just going to invite you. We're going to set a little prayer of intention. This is so we can really connect in. This is so that we can be open to receiving and optimizing our healing. So go ahead, soften your gaze, close your eyes, relax your body. I'm going to do the same. And then just take a couple of gentle breaths. So breathe in through your nose, breathe into your belly, expand in all directions. And then open your mouth, sigh it out. Just start to soften some of the tension. Take another gentle breath in. Release it whenever you're ready. And then last time, breathing in and letting go. And then drop right into your heart space. And I just want you to imagine that there's this beautiful line of energy that goes through your spine, extending down past your root and up past your crown. And this line of energy connects you to the earth below, higher power above. So, Mother, Father, God, Source, Creator. And as a human being, your human is of the earth and your being is of divine. So, we are interconnected of both energies. So, with your awareness, bring it all the way down to your root and just feel that grounding cord going deep into the earth. The earth holds an energy of safety, support, stability, groundedness. Connect to this earth energy and feel yourself drawing it up into your body. So, feeling every cell of your body just receiving a deeper sense of safety, support. It's like you're being held, and just start to feel the tension in the body dissipate as it feels this groundedness. It's like you don't have to hold yourself up anymore. So, really feel that. And then allow this earth energy to form a beautiful ball of light above your head. Place yourself in this ball of light. And then transcending all levels of consciousness to connect into the highest truth. So, with your awareness, move past all the layers of the atmosphere. Go higher and higher to the edge of the cosmos, beyond the edge of the cosmos. Move through all these different beautiful layers of light. These are different layers of consciousness. Higher and higher through a thicker layer of light, all the way up to an iridescent white light. And just feel higher power above you, below you, all around you. This is a space of miracles, magic. This is a space of infinite potential and possibility where anything is possible, a space without limitation. Let your bubble dissolve and melt away. Immerse yourself in the magic of all that is. And then here, silently state your intention. If you could create anything your heart desires, there's no restriction, no age limit, health limit, money limit, anything you want, silently state that desire to Creator. Whatever is your dream, sharing that unapologetically, this is what I want. And then silently stating to Creator, what are you releasing? What are you shedding, releasing, letting go of? What gets in the way of that desire? silently stating what you're releasing in this healing. And you can always put these intentions into chat if you want. If you want to say, this is what I'm creating, this is what I'm shedding, you don't have to. Just making that declaration and then feeling as if you're a magnet. Your declaration has been heard and you're awakening within you and attracting towards you everything you need to create or let go of anything in your life. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Amazing. All right, let's dive in. So, creator, this community and I are one. We work together as a team. I asked to be a clear, neutral channel on their behalf, and so it is. So, now that we're connected in, I'm going to do some theta healing, which means that we do this healing from a meditative state, which is the theta brain wave. So, in this space, I'm going to connect in, do another scan just to make sure all the information is up to date, and then we'll dive in. So, let me get quiet. So this community creator and I are one. We work together as a team. I asked to be a clear and neutral channel on their behalf, and so it is. So this recording is for this community, anyone who might be listening to it in the future. Thank you. It is done, is done, is done. So let's just get a scan of this group. Let's see what they're holding. What's blocking them from their dreams, their desires, and what they're really wanting to create. I'm just going to be quiet. You can just rest your bodies, and I'm going to see what comes through. Okay. So the first thing is fear, panic, and anxiety. Okay, so the first pillar is this really deeply ingrained fear. So, what is this community most afraid of? They're afraid of history repeating itself. So, in the past, so whatever it is that you want and desire, in the past, you have experienced this deep hurt. Okay, you either witnessed it vicariously, experienced it personally for yourself. And from this hurt, this protective wall went up where I will protect myself at all costs. I will not let that happen again. And the way that and this is unconscious, this is not something that we declare at age 6, this is what we're doing, okay? So, what unconsciously got created is called a survival program or a protective program. And it basically takes that painful experience and it says, I don't want this to happen again. So, this is what I'm going to do to survive that and to protect myself in the future. And then what's happening with this community is you're holding the pain from that experience as a constant reminder so that you don't do the thing that caused the pain. So we're holding the pain to make sure the future pain doesn't happen. But here's what's happening. When we're holding on to that past pain, that energy is constantly in our field. So we're actually blocking what we're wanting to attract, and we're stuck in the loop where we're experiencing levels that feel similar to that previous experience. So what are we going to do for this community? So let me just get quiet for a second. So, what do they need to heal this? What do they need to let go of this pain? They won't let go of it because they don't feel safe. So, how do we help them feel safe? Okay, where do you want me to start with that? So, we're going to do this inner child healing. Now, inner child can be any age. I mean, it's just a younger version of yourself. So, it doesn't have to be when you're young. It could be any age, when you're 37, when you're 45, when you're 62. It doesn't matter when it is. And if you're like, I don't know what age, I don't know what to do, don't panic. Just close your eyes, drop into your heart. Okay? Just close your eyes, drop into your heart, take a breath. And you're just going to bring up that want and desire. This is what I want, this is what I desire. And you're just going to notice any age that comes to you where that feels dangerous, where that feels impossible, where that feels scary. You're just going to notice the part of you that is really resistant to your dream. And you're just going to wrap this younger self in a bubble of light and love. You're in a bubble of light and love. You're both completely safe in Source's light. And you're going to notice her fear, resentment, frustration, distrust over letting this go. This is what kept her safe. And then you're just trying to come in and take it away. And so that's not what we're doing at all. We're going to help her feel so safe that she doesn't need that armor anymore. Help her feel so safe that she doesn't need that protection anymore. So we're going to do some downloads. We're going to bring in for your younger self what it even feels like and how to feel safe without that survival program, to feel safe without that pain. So a download is when we connect into Source, and Source literally brings in and activates in your body what that feels like because we don't know what that feels like. And so how can we embody something or manifest something that we don't actually experience? So start to bring in for your younger self that safety. And then what would it have felt like if you would have been there for her at that time? You, as the conscious, self-aware, empowered being that you are now. Right when that survival program kicked in, what if you were there to tell her she was safe? What if you were there to tell her that she wasn't alone? What if you were there to explain her confusion? What if you were there to give her a space to be heard? What if you were there to offer guidance and support? What if you were there to offer her what to do with what she was feeling, with how she was hurting? So bring that into her now, letting her know that she's not alone, letting her know that what happened will never happen again because you're here now and that you learned from it, you grew from it, and you would never let that happen again. You would never let someone treat you that way. You would never not tell someone. Let her really feel your power and let her feel how that power and how safe and how held she is, that she doesn't need to hold on to the hurt, to the shock, to the pain, to the trauma. And then as she feels your strength, as she feels that trust, that ride or die energy that I am here for you no matter what, start to feel the pain of those experiences dissipate. Start to feel the heaviness of those experiences dissipate. Start to feel all of that soften. Start to feel every cell of your body releasing this shock, pain, trauma, fear. Start to feel the whole body softening into this trust, into this empowerment, into this possibility. Feeling all of that survival, trying to protect you, trying to prevent what you want for fear of getting hurt begin to dissipate. Feel this fearlessness of where some parts are going to be scary, uncomfortable, embarrassing, but I'm not going to let the fear of any of that block me from what I want. Literally feel your younger self rising out of that experience, rising from the ashes, really feeling her step into this new experience with you, how it's not the same. What Source is saying is that when we look back, it's so easy in hindsight. It's so easy to be like, this is what I would have done, or I wish I would have had this. We literally rewrite our past when we give ourselves that permission to receive whatever we wanted. If we wanted love and attention from our parents and we didn't get that, we don't need it from our parents anymore. It's not this unresolved thing only they can fix or solve. You can liberate yourself, you can liberate your own soul by providing the spaces, the supports that you never had. And one of the biggest blocks to creating what we want is that we're waiting for everyone else, all the external, to provide us what we need. Instead of activating in ourselves what we need, instead of calling upon Source to really fuel what we need. So closing your eyes, dropping into your heart, feel this younger self integrate into your being. Send her up to light for cleansing, healing, transformation, and then feel her. She's part of your soul. Invite her back in into this wholeness and just feel that integration where you're free from that pain of the past, where you're free to create what you want. Feel that, yeah, there's uncertainty and discomfort with any change or transformation, but feel your resilience. I can figure it out. I can handle it. Just really feel that in your being. Thank you. It is done, is done, is done. Show me. I'm just going to watch that. Okay, beautiful. Anything else we need to do with this piece? All right, let's go deeper. What's another pillar? What's another block to this community creating change and transformation? Okay, the next piece that's coming through that they're saying, excuse me, is you're trying to do it all on your own. So, how do you want me to say that? Okay, there's a past life experience. So, past life experience is just something that's happened multiple generations ago. So, in this past life experience, you were all part of a community, and this community was completely devout to Creator. And basically what happened is they weren't taking any action. There was like it's like a famine going on, and no one was taking any action. And so there's some of the villagers that are like, oh, like here we could do this stuff for like irrigation and water and whatever. And they're like, no, we're just gonna pray. So they just like prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, and then like nothing happened. No rain, no water. And then it was this drought, and then the village, like everyone, like pain, suffering, and death. So what that created is this huge distrust in source and creator and God, whatever your higher power word is. I use them all interchangeably. It created this distrust that I have to do it on my own. So I have to heal physically on my own. I have to become abundant on my own. I have to find the love of my life on my own. So there's no trust in that if I open up my heart, if I open up to this support, to this co-creation, that something good will happen. In fact, it's the opposite. So this community is really closed off from that. Now, here's the thing. The 3D is very dense and very slow. If we are closed off from flow and closed off from source, we move at the most microscopic pace. But when we can open that up and get into flow, it's like swimming up the upstream, right? Like against the current. But if we can open up and get into that flow, it's so fast. I mean, this is just where people move mountains in minutes. I mean, that is the miracle of healing. So let's go deeper into this block for them to receiving that. So let me just get quiet. So let's go ahead and release it. Let's release and resolve this past life experience where this group put all their faith, trust, and power into higher power, and they were disappointed. They felt rejected. They felt betrayed. They felt ignored, and they were hurt, harmed, or killed. Let's resolve it. Thank you. Is done, is done, is done. Show me. So, literally watching Source's light come in and resolve that trauma from every being in this community. Thank you. Is done, is done, is done. Show me. So I just like witnessed that. I just watched this shift from every cell of your body, every level of your being, every area of your life. Yeah. So they don't trust source. So what do we need to do with that? What's the other extreme? Okay, so what do we need to bring in for them? So let's bring in this highest definition perspective and understanding of co-creation. So this is not my definition, not society's definition. This is the highest definition and understanding of co-creation. So what I'm hearing to say is that the quickest way to manifest and transform is when we work with the universe, not against it, right? So this is about we're not sitting passively and just like praying and sitting passively and hoping something happens. We're not ignoring all possibilities and just tunnel vision doing it on our own. We're in this beautiful relationship with the universe where we're taking, I call it action amplified. We take the action and we do the steps. So if you want to lose weight, we are moving our bodies and we are eating cleaner. Okay. Right. We're taking action. Action amplified means we're also open to that support, that divine support to give us more miraculous results. And this is why we'll see someone will do a protocol or someone will do something and they'll get like amazing results because they're open to that co-creation. I do the things and I have this trust that it works. And I believe that when I do things, I get these results. So you're welcoming that energy in. So let's go ahead and do that download for this group of what it would feel like and how to be in co-creation with the universe, to be able to be in flow with the universe, to not have to do it all on your own. So let's just release anywhere where they still feel like they've been rejected or abandoned, anywhere where they feel like creator turned their back on them. Let's just release and resolve all of that. Thank you. Is done, is done, is done. Show me. Okay, so literally visualize that you're on a boat, you're in the river, you're in the flow of life, right? You're in the river of creation. And then just turning your boat around, going downstream, being in flow. So you still have your paddle and you're still like guiding it, but you're not doing this like rigorous, like, I have to do all this work. It's not like class five rapids. It's just so easy. You're just like meandering, and there's just like a very like little course corrections. So all of this weight of the world on your shoulders, pressures, expectations, do it all on your own. Let's just clear that. Let's release any fear. If you're in this flow, you're going to become lazy or powerless or weak or dependent. That's not what this is. And let's bring in the highest empowered relationship with Source. So it feels like an ally. So it feels like a best friend. So it feels like you're really in this together. Yeah, that's so much better. Okay, everyone just take a breath. Okay, let me just go back to these anchors. How's that one? How's that one? All right, which one do we need to do next? Okay, this is a big one, old identities. All right, let me get quiet and see what's coming through with this. Okay, so some of what they're saying is some of this group's dreams and desires have been long held. So it's like, I want a relationship or connection. And it's not like, oh, I just decided yesterday. Like for some of this people in this community, like this has been something that's been a dream for a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades. These are like long held dreams and desires. What's blocking it is the old identity of I'm single, I'm sick, I'm broke, I'm whatever that old identity is. I can't do it, whatever has been the repeated experience. And you could all write me a whole, list of evidence to prove that identity. Okay. What's happening though is this same thing as before. This old identity is so ingrained on a deep cellular level that there's no room for what you're wanting. So you have a dream, you have a desire, and you're trying to give it space. It's like hoarding. You're trying to give it space, but there's nowhere to put it because you're already full. You're full to the brim with the old identity. Okay. So let's look at how we're going to shift this old identity. So let me just see what they're saying about that. So, creator, how do we shift this old identity? They have to remember who they are. So, who are they? They're not their problems, they're not their suffering, they're not their experiences. So, they really need to transcend that, right? But they're humans in the 3D. So, what do you want them to actually do? I want them to remember who they are. Okay, so how do you want me to do that? Okay, this is really cool. So, for those who don't know me, like I have a history with a lot of chronic illness since I was a kid. And there's a lot of things that I've healed and it's been incredible. And there's things that I haven't healed and it's been a journey. So what Source wants to do in this part of the healing is literally download, awaken in your being, remembering who you are outside of that identity. So like I could give you like a list of diagnoses that I have for my physical health. And so like what creator is saying is like who you are outside of that. So there's something really beautiful with children with special needs. And what they do is like you always say the kid's name first. You would never say like, oh, the ADD kid. You would always say their name first to identify that they're not that diagnosis, that they're not that thing. Does that make sense? And this is what we're doing with this community. You're not your old identity, but it's been there for so long, it feels like it is you. So let's shift that. Let me just get quiet for a moment. So, can we download to this community, to you, what it feels like and how to remember who you are outside the old identity? So, if you want this download, you can just say yes out loud because they want you to actually affirm what you're wanting. You don't have to unmute, but just say yes out loud if you want this download because they want this strong consent so you actually feel the shift. Thank you. It is done, is done, is done. Show me. So I'm just going to watch this for the community. So they're literally showing each being in this community lifting up It's almost like shedding your skin. It's like lifting up out of that old identity, moving up into this new energy. So you're just like moving past the old reality, shedding that old skin, coming into this new reality of who you are. And so just be quiet and just be in this space of remembering who you are, your light, your hardest, your highest truth, the essence of your being, that actual heart self, like who you are. I once had a healer tell me, if I lost my arm, would I still be me? I was like, and I was really young. I was like, I don't know, how old was I when I met him? I don't know, like 20 or something. And I was like, yeah, I would still be Shanna. And he's like, exactly. And so this is the whole point. Like, you're not just what you're not just these things, these diagnoses, these traumas, these we forget that we're this essence, that we're this light. And so this is really reawakening your light. This is shining a light in the darkness. And as this light starts to shine, it just starts to dissipate all of that illusion, all that I am, where you bought into I am sick, or I am broke, or I am struggling with money, or I am single, or just wherever you bought into those identities, just feel all of that shutting and shifting. It's just like brushing it off of your being. I'm just going to breathe in and just feel that old identity. It's like it's like crackling. It's just like just whatever image comes to you. But I'm just seeing everyone. It's kind of like just flaking off. I just have this urge to just like brush it away. And so if you feel like that feels good to you and you just want to brush away this old energy, this old identity, and then just feel what rises from that. It's just the essence of your being. It's this truest self. And when you connect with her, when you connect with this truest version of you, outside all of the baggage, all of the things that have ever happened to you or didn't happen to you, when you connect to her, what's her highest truth? And what I mean by that is, how does she live in day-to-day life? How does she talk? What does she do? How does she spend her time? Who does she spend her time with? And then notice, who and what does she say no to? What does she not entertain? What does she not put up with? What does she not like? She says no to what? I really want you to notice that when I'm really shining, when I'm really me, this is what I welcome into my life, and this is what I no longer welcome into my life. And really feel that in your whole being and bring that in as a download, because she isn't separate from you. This isn't some like future self or some part of you that you aren't. This is you underneath all of the garbage, all of the programming, the expectations, the limitations, the pressures, the survival programs. This is the spring renewal energy. This is she rises energy. So feel her rising and feel as she rises, like she is showing you the way. It's like, well, I want to create this. She's showing you how. She's showing you how to show up, what to say, what to do, how to be to create that. So really feel that. And even if the actions are the same and the words are the same that you were doing before, so it's like, well, Shanna, I was eating clean before and I'm eating clean now. But I want you to feel the energy in which you're doing it now. So if you're letting go of illness or sick, you're not eating clean because you're sick and you're trying to get healthier. You're eating clean because healthy people eat clean. I want you to feel that difference. Feel it. You're not saving money because you're broke and there's scarcity and there's fear. It's like, no, like there's such an overflow. I'm so in the overflow. I can save money, spend money. So I want you to feel how even if the actions look the same on the outside, energetically, they're completely different. And then connecting to this essence, telling her, Be visible in my life, lead me in my life, show me the way. The last part of our healing is this commitment, because if we do the same things in the same way, we have the same life. It's just that simple. We're on the hamster wheel. So give yourself permission to trust her, to do it differently, or to do the same things with a new energy. So there's doubt, there's resistance. Okay, so let's just okay. I love this group. All right, Source, what do I need to do about the doubt, the fear, so there's messages like, well, I've heard this before, or I've tried before. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go big or go home. Why not? So, what makes this healing tonight any different than any other healing? What makes this moment in their life any different than any other moment? What lets tomorrow be the most miraculous day of their lives? What do we need to do for that? They just need to know they're worthy of it. Okay. And then, so if something magical doesn't happen tomorrow, what does that mean? They weren't good enough? No, not at all. So then what do we need to do with that? So can we release? This is what we're releasing next. Can we release any programming that getting what you want was about being good enough and being denied what you want was because you were being punished? So if I can release that, go ahead and say yes. So let's release and resolve it for this community. Thank you. Is done, is done, is done. So all of this, like, if I'm good, good things happen. If I'm bad, bad things happen energy, let's release all of that. What do we need to replace it with? We need to bring back in that trust, this a bit that they aren't their experiences. So releasing that judgment of like good means good and bad means bad. You're just having experiences. They're not their experience. So stay connected to that truest self. We also need to bring in a lot more resilience, that things are going to happen and they're not going to derail you. You're not going to let anything ever take you away from your dream, because the only way your dream dies is if you stop. But you're not going to force your dream anymore, because we already cleared that you're paddling upstream. So, Creator, how do I wrap up this healing? What is the biggest takeaway? What do they need to know, feel, hear, or do? Just going to be quiet for a second. So, what Source is saying is like, let this in. Like that's the closing message. Let all this good in. Like, let it in. Let yourself heal. Let yourself experience more joy, love, abundance, health. Let this in. Let yourself change. Let yourself face the fears. Allow yourself to experience what you want. So can we download that it's safe, it's easy, and you're allowed, you know how, and it's possible to have what you want, to create what you want, to experience what you want, to be a person that gets results in your life. So if you want that download, say yes. Thank you, is done, is done, is done. Let me just watch that. Yeah, there it is. And then can we just release all the sadness, disappointment, and grief that you're holding from any experience where it didn't work out? So if I can release that, just say yes. So, Source, let's just bring in a heart healing for this community, just this broken heart, where anywhere where you've tried and you've been disappointed, you tried and you failed, you tried and it didn't work out. Let's just resolve all of that. So just take a gentle breath in, letting that hurt and disappointment go. Feel this clean slate energy. Breathing in, just letting that old heaviness go. And I just keep hearing to say the reason this time is different is because you're different. So if you started working on your dream 10 years ago, not a single one of you is who you were 10 years ago. If you started doing something 2 years ago, not a single one of you is who you were 2 years ago. Okay? All right, last download. The Source is saying this dream creation is so heavy. Bring in play, fun, laughter. Let's download joyfulness. Like it can be so fun. Like working towards your dream body, super fun. Working towards your dream soulmate, super fun. Like this does not have to be this dark night of the soul, right? We're coming out of this winter. So let's bring in this spring, this brightness, this lightness, the hope we feel when the buds burst through the ground, the sunshine, like we start to see the animals coming out of hibernation. Feel that renewal energy, that creating can be fun and exciting and exhilarating and energizing. Before you even get the result, the process can be incredibly uplifting, alivening, and energizing. So let's bring in this joy of the process, love of the journey. Yeah, and what Source is saying is it's like you're having so much fun doing this part. It's like you don't even like it's not that you don't care, but you're not attached like you were. Like before you were like devastated, like this has to work. And now you're just like, I love working out. I love eating clean. I love taking care of myself. And so there's so much joy and contentment in what you're doing. There's so much less fear and anxiety around the result. Okay, amazing. Anything else I need to do? Let's bring in unconditional love for everyone. And then let's go ahead and integrate everything we did tonight. So thank you for this healing. Thank you for this amazing gifts of love. Thank you for this Phoenix from the ashes, spring renewal, just shedding of the old and awakening the new. And thank you for reconnecting us with her. Just that essence, reminding us of who we really are, that we're not our experiences. It is done. It is done. It is done. And then just taking a breath, bringing yourself back like you're waking up from Shavasana. Okay, that's a lot of information. So just be very gentle. Just let the dust settle. I love hearing from you. So definitely reach out. Let me know how you're doing. And if you want to book your first session or your healing session, just reach out to me. And I will talk to everyone soon. Be well, beautiful beings. You're so welcome.